So with the release of 2 Rurouni Kenshin movies all in this year, I thought it was a good time to finally check out this series. There's 3 films in total out right now, and there's 2 releasing this year in Japan. So I'm not sure when the US and West is gonna get it, but soon there's gonna be all 5. Rurouni Kenshin is quite the popular anime and manga. The manga was created in 1994 and the anime in 1996. I first experienced Rurouni Kenshin back when it was on Toonami. It was the greatest lineup with Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, and Rurouni Kenshin. I really enjoyed watching it back then, and it was around when I started to get really into samurai and started to love them. This is the first live action in the series, and it's titled Rurouni Kenshin Part 1 Origins, and it released in 2012 and was directed by Keiichi Otomo. It stars Takeru Sato as the skilled Ronin Rurouni Kenshin as we know him. The story takes place in 1868 after the end of the Bakumatsu War. The former assassin Kenshin Himura, played by Takeru Sato, promises to defend those who need help without killing, and he wanders through Japan with a sword with an inverted blade. It's during the transition of the samurai age to the new, more peaceful age. When Kenshin helps a young girl from the gangsters of a powerful drug opium lord named Kenryu Takeda, he wants her school for his production of opium. The girl invites Kenshin to stay in her school. Meanwhile, a killer is murdering police officers and leaving messages attached to their bodies. When the cruel drug lord poisons the population to get the school that he wants, Kenshin and the street fighter join forces to attack the common enemy. So, obviously this movie has a hard time trying to capture everything from the first volume of the manga in just over 2 hours. Because the manga goes on after volume 1, the director kinda had to draw a line somewhere and create this big climax. So, many favorite scenes were cut or changed in order to accommodate a more fluid movie. Time constraints didn't allow for deep fleshing out of all the stories, but since this is the first installment in the series, there will be more to come. So basically, I found this movie to be enjoyable. It has good production value, the acting is decent, and it's not over the top like most anime adaptations. It has some pretty interesting characters from the anime, like Sanosuke with his gigantic sword. It has an interesting story, but you do feel its long 134-minute runtime. But the best thing about the film is the action scenes and the fight choreography. The fight scenes are done pretty excitingly, and there's actual blood. And it doesn't have too many of those annoying jump cuts, like I can't stand those in fights, so you can actually follow what's going on. I enjoyed Takeru Sato as Rurouni Kenshin, and I found him pretty convincing for the most part, as the wandering Ronin with a dark past. He did a great job in a few scenes, really showing that baggage and guilt that he's been carrying around since his old profession as an assassin. He does look a bit like a pretty boy, but apparently Kenshin is supposed to be relatively small and almost feminine in his looks and stature. The creator apparently based Kenshin on an actual historical figure, Kawakami Gensai. He was one of the 4 most notable assassins of the Bakumatsu period. Apparently, his sword skills were so lightning fast that he could carry out assassinations in broad daylight. He was that good. Kenshin's looks are also why enemies will underestimate him in fights or comment on his slight stature. He's a bit of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde in that way. He could go from an unassuming humble Kenshin to an all-out killer with eyes that change into a murderous gauge when the Hitokiri side is activated, and that's straight out of the anime. Anyone that's into historical samurai or period piece films probably won't find much here though. It's very much an anime live action movie. Besides being loosely based on the real life Gensai, it's very much an anime adaptation in the sense that you'll see guys with giant swords and crazy hairdos and curses. Still, Rurouni Kenshin is an interesting character. His vow to never kill again and wielding a sword with a blade on the wrong side creates for some interesting scenarios. So all in all, I enjoyed Rurouni Kenshin, and I look forward to watching the other 2 films in the series, and eventually the last 2 films when we finally get those. It's not really a great film, but it has great action and good fight choreography, and the story and characters I can get invested in. It brought back some great memories of Toonami, and now I want to check out the manga. So if you're interested in buying this film, check out Merlin's site at SamuraiDVD.com. I'll provide the link in the description below. Also, don't forget to support my Patreon to help this channel grow. Thanks for watching.